He's a totally different person. How you do anything is how you do everything. And in a lot of ways, Tom Hartman's example is pretty much a very clear case that things like fad diets, a 30-day diet, trying something for a year, is not a way to change your behavior, because changing your behavior has to be first a shift in identity. When you shift your identity first, then the behavior that is up here where your goals are is in alignment with your identity. If you keep your identity down here and you're trying to act up here, then you're actually acting in conflict with how you see yourself, and that doesn't work. So kind of to portray this example, or to take this idea a little bit further, I want to introduce you to a person named Elko. Elko is an entrepreneur from Amsterdam. He's 38 years old, and he as well has struggled with weight his entire life. And he's always had a bad diet, and he's always had a story in his head that was actually planted in there from his mom. His mom told him when he was a teenager that they are the kind of people who always are going to struggle with weight, always struggle with food. And so that was the idea that he had in his mind. He actually also had the idea in his mind that he was going to be able to potentially willpower his way to holding off just self-destructive behavior until about his 40s, 50s, or 60s. But then at that point, it would just go all downhill. And because of his bad eating habits, he actually struggled to sleep. He couldn't sleep very well. And so one night, he was up all night, struggling to sleep, and a thought came to him. And he said, what would happen if I went back to eating nature? What if I just went back to nature and just ate clean? And then a second thought popped into his head. And that thought was, what would happen if I did this for the rest of my life? Rather than thinking, what if I did this for like 30 days? Or what if I did this for a year? The question that really seized him was, what would happen if I did this for the rest of my life? And as soon as he had that thought happen, he's sitting there laying in his bed. And all of a sudden, he has like this vision, this picture in his mind of himself in his 90s, totally vibrant, totally healthy. He sees himself with his kids, his grandkids. And at that moment, he just makes the shift. From that moment, he saw what was possible. And so he just committed to it. This was over a year ago.